That massive oil slick is now just a few miles off Louisiana, and the race is on to try to stop 200,000 barrels a day from gushing into the Gulf of Mexico. Rough seas are making it hard for crews to contain the oil slick, and now there's an urgent push to build a containment dome to cap the leak. Brian Todd is over at the scene of all of this. This effort is intense right now. Brian, explain to our viewers how they're hoping against hope that within a week or so they can stop this oil spill.
You know, that's the contention of a lot of people who are observing this process, Wolf. The people here and elsewhere around this containment process who we've talked to believe this is not hoping against hope. They believe they've got a real shot at stopping the flow of oil. This is one of the things that they're going to be trying that they believe gives them a real chance. Take a look at this. This is the pollution containment chamber, the so-called dome we've been talking about for the last several days. For the first time today, we have live access to this. It's the first time you're seeing this thing in any, real vivid form. We have a live picture of it for the first time. You see those guys up there on the top of it? They've been working here for more than a week, 25 to 30 people working 24/7 to get this thing constructed. This is about 40 feet high, it's about 15 feet wide, and it's supposed to go down into the ocean, into the bottom of the ocean, where it will lock onto the leaking pipe and straddle it, and it will also dig about 15 feet below the floor of the ocean to kind of latch onto the ocean floor. The idea being that this will essentially capture the oil as it comes out of the wellhead and funnel it on a riser, on a pipe that will take it to a tanker ship and get it out of there. They believe with this device they can contain up to about 85% of the outflow of that oil. This is going to be finished here in the yard within about 48 hours, they say. They hope they can get it finished by then. Then they've got to do quality control checks, and then they believe by the end of the week they can get it out there over this well and start to lower it down. That's several days, but it is something that they believe will work. However, they've never tried it at this depth, 5,000 feet, and frankly, they have never built anything to do it that is that big. This is the biggest device of its kind that has ever been attempted. So it's an ambitious project, but they believe this is not hope against hope. Over my left shoulder and to your right, there's a smaller version of it. That's not going to be ready quite as soon. So they are trying just different versions of this, and they're going to be basically shipping these pollution containment devices out and lowering them down. Elsewhere, we are told that there are no really significant accumulations of oil on the shores of Louisiana yet. They're scrambling to kind of get this contained. They've placed more boom along the shoreline today. They did get a break in the weather today. It's not as harsh as it has been for the last couple of days. Still preparing these chemical dispersants that they want to shoot underwater to try to disperse the oil and get it to sink. All these different methods, Wolf, being tried. Frankly, none of it has worked yet, but they are pulling out no stop, sparing no expense to try to get this thing contained.
Well, Brian, let me just be clear. If this cap that they want to put over 5,000 feet underground, if they're under the water, if this option doesn't work, do they have a plan B in mind?
That's a good question, Wolf. This kind of is plan B, to be honest. Plan A was those remotely operated submersibles that were supposed to go down there and activate the blowout preventer and actually shut that well down. Those didn't work. They're trying to drill relief wells. Those have not even been put down yet. That may take several more days. And they're trying these chemical dispersants underwater. This is, now 4 different things that they've tried. This device, they believe, has a real shot at doing it. But again, probably not going to get down there until the end of this week.
And as you point out, they've never done it this deep as well. So there's a lot of questions still. Brian's covering the story for us, has been doing an excellent job since he got down there. Thank you, Brian. The California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger is withdrawing his support for a plan to expand oil drilling off the state's coast. At a news conference today, Schwarzenegger said he's changed his mind about the safety of offshore oil drilling after seeing pictures of the massive Gulf of Mexico spill. The Republican governor had proposed expanding oil drilling as a way to help close California's huge budget gap, but now, as we say, he's had a change of mind. While oil giant BP says it will pay for the Gulf cleanup, at least one federal official is willing to stand up and say the buck stops here. Listen to the Coast Guard Commandant, Thad Allen.
By law and by statute and by regulation, BP is the responsible party. They will bear all the cost of this event. That said, the Coast Guard is accountable for the federal government for the oversight. This is ultimately a shared responsibility. They are responsible, but we are accountable, and frankly, I'm accountable.
The Coast Guard chief spoke to CNN earlier in the day. You can help, by the way, in the effort to minimize the effect this spill will have on the environment. To see how, head over to cnn.com/impact. There you'll find a list of local organizations helping out right now in the cleanup effort. That's cnn.com/impact.